Rosie, I'm going to make my famous black pepper beef with noodles. You're going to love this dish. Now, to start with, I've got some fantastic noodles there, which are great for stir fries or soup or anything. If you can grab that, take it out of the packet there.
Got it.
What I'm going to do with these is pour some boiling hot water over the top of them. This is the way you cook them. Most noodles, you pop them into boiling water, but these noodles, you just pop boiling water over the top from a kettle or from a pot. Okay, Rosie, pop them aside. In about 3 minutes or so, we'll drain the water off the top, and I like to chop them up nice and small. I like them to go all the way through. Now, the next stage, Rosie, is the beef. We need to marinate the beef, and you can see I've got some beautiful grass-fed beef.
Very healthy.
It is really healthy. This is a tenderloin. This is the most tender cut. What I'll do is slice it through the middle here like this, and I'll get some nice little chunks out of it. Okay, slice it through like that. What I'll do with these pieces, Rosie, is I'm going to just arrange them like that and cut them into little strips. I want them to cook really, really quickly, and I want them to be nice and long. Have a look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really nice piece of beef. Now, usually with great grass-fed beef like this, you don't need a lot of it. And when you cook it in a stir-fry, it just goes such a long way. Now, I'm going to grab this and pop that into the bowl there, and this piece of meat with the knife, I'm going to pop over the back here. And you can see my little trick of putting a wet paper towel underneath here. Exactly, stops the board from slipping around.
I do spot a bit of tofu here, though.
There is some tofu. I'm going to put something in there for you. Now, grab that spoon over there, Rosie, because you're going to mix it all around. I've got some chilli here. This is some dried chilli flakes. About a tablespoon of that goes in there.
Yummy.
I've also got some pepper, some lovely black pepper. A good tablespoon of that goes in there. And I'll save some of this to actually put in the stir fry as well. I've got some sambal oelek there. If you can grab some of that soy sauce, Rosie, put about a tablespoon of that in there. The sambal oelek is a chili paste. It's really, really tasty. I've also got some rice wine. I'll pour about a tablespoon of that in there. There we go, a little bit more than a tablespoon. And I've got some thick caramel cooking sauce. This is what we call blackjack when we're working in French kitchens.
Smell?
Have a smell of it.
Oh, yeah.
The beauty of this is it gives it a really, really good colour. You can add it to soups or sauces, but I like to put it in with the beef. It makes it nice and sticky. Grab a little spoon of corn flour over there. I'm going to put about a tablespoon of corn flour, which will help everything stick together. Now, Rosie, while you're stirring that up, what I'm going to do, and this is the way I like to do my stir fries, I like to have everything cut and ready to go before I even turn the wok or the pan on. And once it's ready to go, I get it going really quickly. Stir it around like that. You like the noise? And I'll put it into a pan and then it's ready to go. Rosie, you can see everything's lined up here, ready to go. And when it's like this, everything is in its place. We call it mise en place in the kitchen. I also have my really nice hot pan here ready to go, and I'm going to add some oil to that. I want this to really kick off and smoke and stir fry. I mean, that's where it gets its name from. A lot of high heat, everything cooked nice and small, really quickly, that uses the minimum amount of energy to impact the highest amount of heat and get everything cooking nicely.
Great invention, wasn't it?
It is, it is.
Great invention.
In goes some shallots and some garlic, and I'll also throw in a few of these red onions. I'm also going to put some salt in there, and if you can reach across there and grab the pepper mill, we'll put a little bit of pepper in there.
You got it.
Give that a bit of a turn around like that. And with a high heat like this, it doesn't take very long for it to caramelise. Now, I've got some chilies here, and you see I've got some red and some green chilies.
Love it.
I'm using them mainly for colour, and I think the green and the red work really well together. I've got plenty of other green stuff going in there, but I think the spring onions or the chilies like this hold up really well. Now, I'm going to add some dried chilies, and this is one of the things that when you do add the chili like this, you will get a lot of heat from it. I've got some pepper in here. Now, this is milled pepper or cracked pepper, and this is peppercorn beef, so I want to make sure there's plenty of that in there. Now, I've got the beef here, and you can see it's marinated beautifully, and it's got that beautiful paste around it. What I'll do, Rosie, is just shake this down to that side there, so the onions and all the bits and pieces are actually frying over here. And I'll grab some of these beef pieces and pop it in the pan. I want them to sizzle and sear straight away. You've got to cook beef like this fairly quickly. So I put that down the end there like that, and then put a little bit of salt over the top of it, because salt loves meat, meat loves salt. They go together really, really well. Now, in a second or so, you will see the beef starting to sear up. I'll turn it over now so you can see it cooking on the other side there. But if you wanted to cook it all the way through, that's up to you. I just like to have my fillet nice and rare, so I'll just turn it over like that. It's almost ready to put it all together. I've got some zucchini that goes in there and some tofu. Now, I'm adding lots of flavour to the tofu by putting it with beef. This is what makes it even tasty. You like that?
You do need need to make tofu taste nice, I'll admit that.
You do.
You do need to marinate it.
You heard it from the nutritionist herself. You do need to do something to tofu to make it taste nice. In goes some pak choi. One of the things you need to be careful when you are cooking this is sometimes they grow it in sandy soil. Do cut it in half and make sure you give it a good rinse under a tap to make sure all that grit and sand comes out of it. There's nothing worse than gritty pak choi. Now I'm just going to stir fry that around like that, toss it around in the pan. Beautiful. You can see it's colouring up nicely. If you can pass over the noodles and the coriander and the spring onions, I'm going to pour in a little bit of the rice wine that we had before because I want to start to build up a bit of a sauce there like that. A bit of rice wine in there and a bit of extra soy sauce for some flavour. About 1/4 cup of that goes in there. We've also got some noodles that I'm going to pop in the top here. And you can see the noodles have become nice and soft. 3 minutes in boiling water. We took them out, cooled them down a little bit and chopped them up into little pieces. I've got some spring onion and coriander I'm going to pop in the top here like this. There we go. And then all I need to do, Rosie, is toss this around like this. Another minute of this and I reckon I'll be pulling together a beautiful stir-fry beef with noodles. Okay, Rosie, it takes about a minute or so, and you can see it's cooking up beautifully.
Looks great.
Now, this is an optional extra if you want, or maybe a pro tip. If you want to make it a little bit saucier and bring all those liquids together, I like to add just a little bit of corn flour and water and just toss that through, and you'll see it starts to thicken it up really, really well. If you like it with a little bit of sauce on the outside of it, sure, use the corn flour. If you don't, you don't have to. It's an optional extra.
So I could grab that sauce and use tempeh or just stay with the tofu, change up my veggies.
Whatever you want to do. It's one of those things, as I said, you know, empty anything out of the fridge if you want to make it a vegetarian dish or even a prawn dish. I've done the same thing with beautiful big prawns. Great. Now I'm going to get stuck into here. I've got that beautiful big piece of beef. Smells delicious.
It smells so good. Like, I can smell the pepper though, most definitely. I can really smell the pepper. Too much pepper, is it perfect?
There is so much pepper in there, it's made it beautiful. I love it like this. I love it really strong. I love a lot of chilli, although it makes me sweat, and I love the difference of the pepper. Maybe some Szechuan pepper would be great in here as well. This is a great little dish with some noodles in there, even a little bit of tofu. What a cracking little stir-fry.
Stir-fry, two very different ways, but stir-fry can be whatever you want to do. This is really where you can customise it to whatever you like.